Jazakallah khairan. Thank you so much, Sister Afaf. Amazing leadership and team. 25 years, Allahu Akbar. 25 years is an incredible accomplishment. May it continue. And even as we remember that we are here to build the future, we are also here to honor the past. And so I feel, and I've seen some faces of some brothers and some sisters who I knew back in the day, as we used to say. And I remember some of the faces of those who are not with us. I remember one of the original executive directors of Cair, New York, Ghazi Khan. May Allah have mercy upon his soul. And others that are not here physically, but they're still with us alive, like Dr. Aisha Al-Adawiya and others who were involved in the leadership roles in Cair over the years. And it's incredible to see Sister Afaf and the others who are coming along to lead this incredible work, which is about protecting our rights, protecting our civil rights to be the Muslims we were meant to be. In the land of the free and the home of the brave, we too have a place. But the place, as you know, has to be secured by constant vigilance against those who would seek to make us lesser than. Lesser than. You're not the same as. And the driving mechanism for that is Islamophobia. And Cair has been in the forefront of confronting Islamophobia. And so we have Brother Dr. Khalid Beydoun here and others that are more adept at some of the works and the writings on this than myself. But in a nutshell, as I understand, Islamophobia is something that we are all victims of. And it begins with this idea or concept that is an irrational and wrong understanding and fear of Islam. We're here to say, and Cair is here to represent us, to say Islam is not something you need to fear, because Islam is about the same thing that you are calling for in your scriptures, in your traditions, and that is for justice. Every Friday, Khutbatul Jummah, it has become practiced in most parts of the Muslim world, including in the mosques of Gaza, which were destroyed. And Allah is witness to what's happening, as is the world. They are reminded in the second khutbah, Inna Allah ya'muru bil adli wal ihsan. Indeed, you are commanded, O people. This is sort of the going away for the next week of work. Inna Allah ya'muru bil adli wal ihsan. You're commanded with doing of justice and the utmost good. And that's justice for everybody. Because justice denied to a single person is an injustice that is denied to all. And it's hard work. It's not easy. It's something which we have to wake up to. We have to stand up and do. We have to go to sleep with, and we have to look forward doing it the next day. Our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ's example, and I'm just reminding people that already know this, but sometimes a reminder is good for the believers, is about rising up, فأنذر, and speaking out. فأنذر, let's do it from our seats. Stand up. Don't be shy. It's about standing up. فأنذر, to warn, to call out. You can sit down now. That took energy. It took exercise. It required us to be a little bit uncomfortable in order to do that, what we just did. But that's our life as Muslims. Our great scholars of the past have pointed out and reminded us, including amongst them Shaykh Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, that justice is key. In fact, in the Shia traditions, justice has become an arkan, part of the faith of Islam. And we uphold the same within the Sunni tradition, but in a different way. He said, governments, nations, and peoples will be established as long as they adhere and practice justice. And they will be brought down once they stop dealing with justice. They will be brought down once they stop dealing and upholding justice. He said, even if that government is not one that is a Muslim government or a Muslim power, it will be brought down if it doesn't stand for justice. And justice simply, dear brothers and sisters, is where and takes place on the margins, as our sister said. It takes place not on the people who have, but the people who have not. And as a Muslim chaplain at a university, I can say to you that even though you have parents have striven hard to send your children to universities, in many cases our children, students at the universities, are those who are in a very, very fragile situation. And I am amazed, and you should be amazed, in the leadership they have shown since October 7th in this nation in calling out the wrong, standing up and warning, at risk to their own selves, standing up and warning, and then organizing and mobilizing those amongst them. Alhamdulillah, we do have social media. We do have cell phones. My brother pointed out that there's a double-edged sword with regard to cell phones. But we wouldn't know what was happening in the moment in Gaza had it not been for the cell phones. We wouldn't know where to meet the people who we needed to meet with when we call on our elected representatives who are not listening to their constituents. And we are being led by the young amongst us to say, hey, what you're doing is wrong. You are elected by us. This is our demand, that you honor justice. Even if the other side is padding your pockets, we demand that you honor justice. Cair is about protecting and honoring that wonderful tradition of Islam. Lastly, honoring the past, building the future. We're the future, according to one man 1,400 years ago, alayhi salatu wassalam, when he said to his companions in the seating, and this is after they'd been through thick and thin together, when they were under siege in Mecca, when they were surrounded and boycotted and denied food and drink by even their own family members for an extended period of time. They went through this together, and he's sitting with his companions in Medina, having achieved some levels of success and strength and power. And he begins to talk about his brothers and his sisters. And the Sahaba are looking at it. He talks about them and he's praising them. He's saying how great his brothers and sisters are. And he begins to give various explanations of their greatness, including that they stand for justice. And his companions are smiling at one another because they're in the presence of Habibullah, the beloved of Allah, and they begin to look at one another. He's talking about us, alhamdulillah. And the Prophet said, I'm going to conclude here. They said, that's us, yes. He said, no, you are my Sahaba. You are my companions, male and female. Don't forget, female companions are as powerful as male companions. They're not a bunch of old guys with white beards. That's not a Sahaba. There's Sahabiyah. There's female companions. And we should be proud that our leadership is women in this work. I'm serious. When Muslim men disappeared, I was a chaplain for a long time after 9/11. Muslim women were there to hold the MSAs together on university campuses. It was not the brothers. Understand the realities, and understand we're the people who have a Quran that we read through every day that was in the hands of a woman. For many years, the only copy of our Mus'haf was in the hands of the woman, Hafsa, radiallahu anha. It was trusted to her. So know the power of women, we have to recognize it and honor it, because it's amazing, and alhamdulillah, Cair is doing that. But he said, you are not my brothers and sisters. You're my Sahaba, and you have special standing. My brothers and sisters are those who never saw me. They weren't in my presence, but they love me, and they stand for what I stood. He stood for justice. We need to stand for justice here in the United States and abroad. I know you all know that. This is a time, to stand up, فأنذر, and to warn, not to hide. Ya ayyuhal mudaththir, it's not the time to put the cloak over and to hide. Ya ayyuhal mudaththir, rise up, فأنذر, and warn. Cair is in the forefront of courageous leadership that is warning, that is calling out the wrong, that is protecting our civil rights, even as other organizations, including, I'm going to make a small pitch for myself, including the one I work for now, Justice for All, seeks to do the similar thing internationally. Please support Cair and the work they've done. Honor the legacy, honor the past, but build for the future. Inshallah, we can build it together. I'm from Jersey side of the river. Glad to be here in New York again. Glad to see old friends, and glad to be a part of this incredible effort. May Allah bless you, bless your families, keep you strong, and let's give them what they need to build the future. Assalamu alaikum.